So with me now is ANZCA President Dr. Vanessa Beavis, who has made it to Melbourne from her home city in Auckland for the first time, becoming President in May last year. Dr. Beavis, how have the last 12 months been for you?
Well, I suppose in the famous words of Charles Dickens, it's been the best of times and the worst of times, really. I think the worst of it has not been able to meet my colleagues face to face. That's been really, really awful, and it's really deprived us of the chance to hear each other and see each other in the same room. And it does remind us really of how much we communicate just by the non-verbals and more than just words when we are together. So that's been a real shame. And luckily, conveniently, Zoom was invented just in time. And if it hadn't been for Zoom, we would have been in real trouble, actually. So yes, my life has been just an endless procession of Zoom meetings, and trying very, very hard to get the same sort of feeling of collegiality and fellowship as we've previously had through a screen with microphone and speakers and all that kind of jazz. And then, of course, the 5 different time zones between Western Australia and, of course, New Zealand right over on the east. So it's been it's been very, very full on, but really, really good as well.
I can imagine that would be a hell of a challenge, actually, with the time zones as well as COVID. And a feature of each ASM is the college ceremony, which is on tonight. Tell me what this event means to you.
I just love the college ceremony. I think it's the highlight of the whole thing, really. When you think what it's taken for the trainees to actually get to that point, and now they're specialists, there's not a single person who knows them that hasn't been absolutely behind them to get to this particular point. And that's not only their friends and their family, but also their teachers and other senior colleagues and everybody who's just rooted so hard for them to get to this point. And it's such a lot of work and such an important thing. You really need to celebrate it with a very ritualistic kind of celebration with pomp and ceremony, and to give it the importance that it really, really deserves. So I love the college ceremony. It's just we have wonderful orators, and it's just absolutely, it's a fabulous night. And so yes, Melbourne for me, not for everybody unfortunately, but anyway, we'll do the very best we can under these weird times. So
absolutely. I think everyone's looking forward to when it gets back to normal. You have a year left of your presidency. What's left to come?
Oh, well, of course, COVID has put a slight damper on things, so we haven't made as much progress on some things as we would have liked to. But, one of the things about COVID, it really has demonstrated how agile and flexible everybody is. The college staff, of course, have done a magnificent job working from home, not being able to be in the office, and still supporting everybody with the things that they've done. And certainly our anaesthetists who've been on the front line, demonstrating just how clear thinking they can be under terrible stress and fear, really, especially when we've seen what's been happening overseas to our colleagues there. So I guess what we're going to do now is we're kind of used to that, sort of used to working in the new normal. So we are definitely moving on with our diploma of rural generalist anesthesia. That's been a long time in the making, so that's pretty terrific. We'll continue to advance our diploma of perioperative medicine. We're progressing a dual training pathway for those smart people and hardworking people who want to do dual training in intensive care medicine and in anesthesia. And of course, the business as usual stuff with the very important education projects that we have, setting of standards, advocacy, research, those kind of things. So yeah, we've got a lot to do, and it's going to be a great year coming up.
And so finally, now you're here for the ASM. What are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, there's so much to see at the ASM, and it's going to be really, really interesting because it's a completely different new format and way of doing things. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's all going to pan out. It's been great so far, and so my favourite things really, or a couple of things. I really like the plenaries, and so there's one on Sunday, which is called Waving or Drowning, which I think is excellent. It fits in with my interest in perioperative medicine as well, so that's looking forward to that one. And then, of course, the Gilbert Brown session, I think that's always a fabulous session to go to. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then the last session, which is the question and answer one, just before the closing. Again, I'm looking forward to talking to my colleagues on that session. So those are the things I'm going to highlight.
Thank you so much for chatting with us today. It's been really great to have you on.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.